fish. I like fish. Fish, 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 fish. I can't even say that. Hi, I am Crazy Paul, and I like fish. I got lots of them. In actual fact, I've got over 200. How many have you got? Not many, I bet. Anyway, this is my big tank. It's the biggest in the world. Well, it's the biggest one in this room anyway. I'm going to do some videos about fish. Fish! Tropical fish. Not jellyfish. Tropical fish. And I'm going to give you tips on how to look after your fish. Tips on how to deal with weeds and bad algae that make your tank look bleh. Okay, so we're going to make the tanks look beautiful and healthy fish and stuff like that, and I'm going to help you set up your first fish tank, but not on this video. We're going to do it on the next video because I haven't got an empty tank to show you, so I'm going to have to borrow one to do that. But first I'm going to show you my first fish tank, which was in the other room, which is that way. Okay, and we're going to show you how to clean it and get rid of some of that horrible what it's called grey beard. If any of you have got fish tanks, you might know it's little clumps of grey, looks like a beard, yeah, not moustache, beard. And I'm going to show you how to deal with that. Okay, so come with me into the next room to see my other fish. Am I here? Are you there? Are you still watching? Good. This is the kitchen, and this is the main hub of the house where everything happens, and this is the other fish tank. Have a look. As you can see, it's mainly mollies. I seem to be very good at breeding mollies, and we got some beautiful colour ones in there. Yeah, I just can't seem to stop breeding mollies. So what we're going to do with this tank, although the water's very healthy, it's getting some of that grey beard weed as well. So what I'm going to do today is take it down to half. I'm going to empty half of the water, and then I'm going to show you how to treat the grey beard. Okay, it's not anything complicated, it's very easy and anyone can do it, and it will kill the grey beard within 2 or 3 days, and it'll be gone. I promise you. Okay, I promise you. But first we have to empty the water. Now some of you might use a jug and a bucket, the old-fashioned way. Yeah. Many times I've done this with a jug and run to and fro the sink with a bucket and splashing water everywhere. But please, people, you should invest in one of these. Okay, these are absolutely a lifesaver. Basically what you've got on this end, you have an attachment that connects to your tap on your sink, and there are 3 or 4 different sizes that come with the kit, so you can find the right one that screws onto your tap. And then once you've done that, you put the other end in the fish tank, which is like the typical cleaner. Okay, there's about 8 meters of hose that comes with it, so it's really good. And in the middle you've got an on-off switch here as well, so once you put this in the tank you can turn it, this is on at the moment, you can turn it off so the water doesn't drain out while you're setting it up. So this goes into the tank. We'll do that now and I'll show you how it works. Oh, we've already caught the molly. Mollies are very, very inquisitive fish, and they're not easily scared of anything, so they will swim inside. But don't worry, they won't get hurt. Okay, just be gentle, don't ram it in there. I'll turn this off for the minute so I know that the water's not going to, there we go, it's not going to siphon out while I do the other end. Now the other end, if you'd like to follow me, my son was making milkshakes earlier on, sorry about that. If you've got one of these taps like mine, on the end here, this screws off, the very tip screws off. Okay, like so. And inside there's a little washer. We want that washer. Oh no, it's not, it's gone. It's stuck inside there, I think, yeah. It's still inside there. There it is. There's a little washer. and that comes out. It's not going to come out. Alright, I'll come back to that. This then screws onto the tap, like so. Oops, sorry, I'm not very good at, I'm very thumbs and fingers today. It screws on, make sure it's nice and tight, and then this just simply connects onto there, so. Right, cut. Okay, we're back to the tap. Sorry about the shakiness of the camera. It's a new camera, and my friend Lewis is operating it, and it's a bit wobbly, so I apologise for that. But now we've got the unit connected to the tap. This is, you see this little tap here? This is the off position. You see there, and then that's on. So we need it on the off at the moment. Okay, and then I need to go over to the fish tank, this one, and turn this one on so that the tube is open. So that goes into that position. That is now on, so water can come through. So just make sure that this is secure there. I did have a little, you do get a little bracket with this that secures the tube in place, but I'm going to have to trust that it doesn't pour out, but we'll see. So there we are, it's ready to go. Now we go back to the tap. This is how simple this is. Okay, you turn this on. This now opens this, and when you put the water on, it comes out. But it also, if you look at the tank, the tube, it sucks the water from the tube, from the tank. Now that is actually taking water out of the tank now. Usually it takes about 20-30 minutes to get it to halfway, okay? But also if you want to, with this nozzle, you can use it as a cleaner, you can clean the gravel. But as you can see, my stones are pretty clean. The plants are a bit dirty, but the fish will clean those anyway. All I'm interested in is getting the tank down to 50%, 50%, and then we're going to deal with this grey beard here, and on top of the stone at the back, you see this grey beard on the top of that. Right, so we're going to switch off for now. As you see, at the moment there's only a little bit gone, and then we'll come back to you when it's half empty. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay. We're back to the fish tank, and as you can see now, we're about 50%, okay, give or take. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn the suction off, but first I have to turn it off from the tap. Whatever you do, don't turn it off here. If you turn it off here, the pressure gets so great that that end will fly off the tap and you'll get water all over the ceiling, which I did when I first got it. So all I'm going to do, just turn the water off, okay? It's still draining a little bit. That's what's coming from the tank. So now I'm going to turn it off. Do I turn it off here? I can't remember. No, we go back to the tank. We'll leave that as it is, leave it open, and just gently take out the tube. There we go. And I'm going to rest it there for a moment, because what I want to do before I put water back in, I'm going to treat this grey beard. Okay, this is also a good time if you want to. You've got this slight green in on the glass. I'm not going to do this today because we don't have a lot of time, but you can clean this with a credit card, an old credit card. Make sure it's an old credit card, not your mum and dad's new one. So an old card will clean that off better. Okay, you can see the guys, they're happy. There's no stress in the fish. They're happy. They've done all this before. But also, if you look at this rock, you might be able to get a view inside. It's black on the top. This is this horrible grey beard. Now I've got a treatment for it. You don't have to get this treatment from any of the pet shops. They do a liquid that you can buy, which is really expensive, and it doesn't always work. This stuff is, you can get this from the chemist. Okay, it's in, this is in German because I'm living in Austria at the moment. This is Wasser peroxide. So you need water peroxide, hydroperoxide. Okay, 3%. Okay, only 3%. It's not very strong. Okay, it's a very mild form of water acid peroxide, but hydrochloric, I can't say it. It's hydrochloric acid, peroxide, not acid. Hydrochloric peroxide. Okay. Yeah, and what you do is basically wait there, have a look at the fish. I need to get something. I'll be right back. I'm coming. So it's Christmas. Okay, I forgot my little syringe. You can get this from the chemist as well. They're pence. They don't cost much, but it doesn't fit in there. So I need a cup, which I'll get a little cup. See, I'm so organised. Don't use your mum and dad's best china. Tip this into there. Okay. I'll tell you how it's not dangerous. You can actually gargle this. You can go. So if you've got sores in your mouth, you can actually gargle with this as well, and it will help kill the sores in your mouth. So just suck up. There we go. Just suck it up. I haven't got a needle. It's just a one without a needle. And basically, you put it straight onto the weed. So we're going for this stuff down here, and I'm just going to squirt it so you can see it running down. This will not harm the fish, because as soon as this hits the water, it turns to oxygen. Okay, it's really good. So that's that. Let's treat that. Sorry about that. We're falling to pieces. Now, you can see on top of this rock, it's black. So I'm going to treat the top of this rock as well with this stuff. I'm just going to basically squirt it all over it. Over there. So, check the plants. The plants are okay. It just seems to like the rock. It does get on plants, but in this tank it just seems to like the stone and the glass. That's it. We're finished. That's all it needs. I just squirt that back in to there. And in a moment I'll tip that back in. You must keep this in the fridge. You must keep it in the fridge. It must be kept cool. I paid, it's probably about £1.50 for a big bottle like that. £1.50, and that will last you. See, it's still quite a bit. I've had that 6 months now. Okay, so it's good stuff. I think in English it's hydrochloric peroxide. I can't say it, but it's in German. It's if you look at that in German and then translate it on the internet, it will give you the correct name. But any chemist will sell that for you. Okay, you don't need a prescription. It's not harmful. It's not poisonous. Now, as you can see, I've put it on the weed. It's grey at the moment. When it dies, it turns violet colour. It turns a purple colour. And then the fish can eat it. It becomes a food for the fish. When it's grey, they can't eat it. It's either too tough or it's not very healthy for them. But when it dies, it becomes food. So you're feeding the fish as well. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to put the thingy back in. There we go. And we're going to reload the water. Whoops. Okay, is that in there? Yeah, that's in. Make sure it's open. Yeah. Because if it's closed and I turn the water on, we're going to get water everywhere. So all you have to do, that's open as well. But because that's open, that means it's going to suck out. What we do now, we turn it the other way. And the water then doesn't come out here, it goes directly back into the fish tank. So it refills the fish tank without the hassle of buckets. But before I do that, what I want to do is get the water at the right temperature. So I normally put it about halfway, test it. Let's put it on hot first. Just get it warm. Here we go. Right, it's warming up. Because you don't, if it goes in too cold, it's going to shock the fish, and you don't want to shock them. And if it goes in too warm, it can be dangerous as well. So you've got to get it about halfway. There we go. It's about, shall we say, I don't know, not so hot as your bath, but that's it. Right, it's about there. Oops, just splashed myself. So once you've got it right, which is about there, this is the fun part. Yeah! Here we go. And there it goes. And you can see it bubbling in the fish tank. That is now refilling the fish tank. Okay, that's refilling the fish tank. Again, that'll take probably 20 minutes to fill up. And what you've done, you've used the half water that's left in there contains all the goodness in the fish tank, all the stuff that, you know, that builds up, that's good and healthy. And all we're doing is mixing it now with fresh water. But also don't forget, when you put in fresh water back in, this kills the chlorine in the water. It's the blue, I call it the blue magic liquid. And I will wait till it fills up to about here. I'll put a couple of squirts in so it mixes in, and that should be enough. Read the instructions, it does tell you how much to use, to how many gallons or litres of the tank you've got. But let it get to about there before you put any in, and then mix it in with your hand, and that's fine. And that's it, guys. So that's going to fill up. I'll then put my blue liquid in. We're finished. Tomorrow the grey beard won't be grey anymore, it'll be violet, and the fish can eat it. And I'll show you that on the next video, okay? So from me and Lewis, the cameraman, he won't show his face because he's very shy, and the fish, my mollies. As I said, I'm very good at breeding mollies. We'll talk again in the next video where I'll have some more tips from you. So for me, Big Paul, Crazy Paul, whatever you like to call me, it's fish!